Good morning. It is nearly 7 a.m. I've been on the road for just over half an hour. I'm on my way to Yellowstone, and I thought I'd give you a view of the sunrise. Enjoy. Okay, so I am about 3/4 of an hour from Yellowstone. The scenery is definitely changing. Lots and lots of trees. Also, some of them you can see the fall colors. Colors are starting to change. I think we're climbing in altitude as well. And I'm going to get to West Yellowstone, which is the town just outside of the park, at about 10:30 a.m. I'm going to stop off at the visitor center, and then it's such a nice day, I can't check into the campground yet anyway, so I might go into the park and do a shortish hike. I'll see what the rangers have to recommend. Okay, I am in West Yellowstone, the quaint little town. It's just outside the park. I'm stopping here, walk around a little bit. I bought some bear spray and a map of hiking trails, and I'll be here a little while and then go into the park. Stopped for a minute here in Yellowstone on my way to Old Faithful, just to capture a small part of the magnificence of this place. It is just amazing. What a sight. And imagine later on in the season, could be in a few days, even when those mountains are capped in snow, it'll be even more impressive. What a place. Well, my first visit to one of the Giza Fields in Yellowstone. This is not Old Faithful, but it should be good. A lot of these geysers are very acidic, the water, and if you fall in, apparently they won't find much of you. This is not Old Faithful. This is a geyser that emits steam fumes constantly. Very impressive.
Quick panoramic view. Once again, I think I'm in paradise, just a different part of it. These pools here look very tranquil and clear, but you can see the fumes coming off of them, and they definitely smell of sulfur or rotten eggs. Some of the thermal springs throw up steam, some boiling water, and some like this one are just boiling mud. The colors really are very pretty, but it's kind of deadly. As I said, if you were to end up in that water, they wouldn't find much of you. Right, it's time to go and take a look at another old Giza. The South Africans among you will get that. Of course, the setting couldn't be prettier. Short walk out to where the platform is, where you can see the activity. The pools just lying here simmering, giving off sulfur fumes. Of course, I'm hoping that the camera is capturing the subtle changes of color. Really, really beautiful, but treacherous. Sulfur fumes from this little Giza, where I suggested we make coffee, which is also empty now. Coffee anyway, the water's boiling. I'm standing here filming this and getting sulfur fumes from this little Giza, where I suggested we make coffee, which is also empty now. So that's the Giza. It's about 70 yards beyond this line of benches. It's not very tall, it's about 3-4 meters. I'm going to try and get a seat, but I wanted to give you some sense of scale as to how big it is. Very impressive. The different colors here caused by the bacteria are incredible. Okay, so that's the end of the first day. I have to say that Yellowstone is absolutely spectacular. Craters of the Moon was unique, and Yellowstone is unique in a totally different way. Today though, the only negative side were the number of people. The crowds were massive, And after the last couple of weeks of touring with like very few people around me or seeing no one, this was like a little bit so anyway, the next few days should be better because I've done now the major touristy spots. So the next few days I'm going to be doing more like the longer hikes, etc., where you don't have the thousands of people. I'm sure I'll see more people than I did in the other parks, but it should be much better. I hope so. That said, it was a great first day. What I saw was unique and just awesome. So I'm not upset in any way that I did it. So let's see what tomorrow brings. So see you then. Driving along, and there's steam coming out of a geyser here on the side of the road. In the distance up ahead, you can see more. It's coming out all over the place here. Driving along here in the valley in Yellowstone, you can see the river on the right and the steam rising from a geyser. Good morning from Yellowstone, a very chilly Yellowstone. It is now 7:30 in the morning. I've been in the parks since about 6:50, and at the moment it is currently 0 degrees Celsius. So yeah, chilly morning. It's supposed to warm up and reach about 20 later, so it should be a good day. But in the meantime, it's cold. So I'm at not my first hike, but my first walk, which is an overlook at the Gibson Falls. And if I switch the camera to that view, you can see the river flowing down below with the valley in the distance there, sky lightening up. Sunrise is actually in about 15 minutes. So I'm going to take a walk to where I get a good overlook of the falls, which are just ahead. The Parks Authority have built this really nice walkway. It's just next to the road. I wasn't planning on stopping here, and then I saw the walkway and the falls while I was driving. Thought, I've got to stop. So it really is beautiful. If you look down below, you can see where the river is.
Continue
flowing.
on US 89 south for 5 miles.
I didn't turn off my GPS because I'm scared it'll lose track. Yeah, you can see the start of the falls, but we'll get a much better look a little further on. So here we get this really, really great view of the falls. It's very pretty. Not massive, but impressive. Hey, so here I am at the start of the trail. It's 8:30. It's gone all the way up to 2 degrees. And I'm about to start with, I think it's a 5.6 mile hike, something like that. 9 kilometers, something more or less. And I've got my new best friend with me. This is a can of bear spray, which I have on my hip. Easy access, which is kind of a requirement when you're hiking in these spots. I haven't actually seen any bears here. I saw a couple in Yosemite, but I haven't seen any in Yellowstone. I did see a bison this morning, but less scary than a bear or a wolf for that matter. So let's have a great hike. The first part of the hike will take me along the river. Next to the river, I'm standing on the bridge at the moment. I'm actually going to be going in the opposite direction, so cross the road. Give you a shot looking up the river, and off I go. As I said, the trail goes alongside the river for the first, I would say, third to half of it. I can always see, I'll always be able to see and hear the river down below. What could be nicer than starting your day with a walk along this? Just beautiful. Oh, another hiker on the trail. View of a set of falls from slightly higher up. And carry on following that river. So here is a view of the lower falls. The white rock on either side is lava. It's volcanic flow. Created about 500,000 years ago. The river has been flowing, cutting its way through the lava for about 100,000 years. And if you think, oh, that's not so big, you can see there are people at the observation point below. Yeah, it's big. And then the river carries on down the gorge that away. You got to know that despite the chilly conditions, although it is warming up, and the fair amount of uphill, etc., that I'm just having the time of my life on these hikes. I mean, with the views, you can see the waterfall again behind me there. It's just stunning. And what a great way to start the day. So every so often along the path, you've got these little viewing points that the Park Service has built. Like this one. Can't imagine why they would want to put a viewing point here. Just kidding. Isn't it awesome? Again, those falls with the people standing on the lookout observation deck, if you want to call it. Platform. It's not a platform. Over there. And if that wasn't enough, looking down in the other direction, you get the sunlight playing off the volcanic rock and the different colors there. The trees. Awesome. So I'm now standing at what's called Artist's Corner or Artist's Point. We have the most incredible view all the way up the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone. You have the lower falls down there, the other ones up there. Just incredible. And you've got the sun playing off the volcanic cliffs on the other side there. Wow. More people here, of course. There's easy access here from the road, but that's okay. I'm going to carry on with the trail. This is where I think I move away from the river. I was wrong. Time for one last look. I just checked my online map, which is linked to the GPS, and yeah, I definitely move away from the valley, which will be a shame, but it truly is amazing to have seen this. My path is taking me by a little lake here, all very calm and tranquil. Certainly different from the flowing river and the sounds of the river going down the ravine. Nice. And it wouldn't be a hike in Yellowstone if you didn't come across a few geezers. In some places the crust is so thin that the vapor or steam and smell of rotten eggs is just coming up through the ground. And because you can't have too much of a good thing, here's another much bigger one. Don't want to get too close here. This one truly is bubbling away. This is the hike that just keeps on giving. Here I am, coming up on another lake. It's just so tranquil here. Apart from a few bears, I'm the only one here. Just kidding, there are no bears. I hope. But beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So the next part of my hike, pretty much the final part, is just through meadows. The path goes there, all along there. And if you see, whoops, sorry, those trees back there, that's where I hope van is waiting for me. It's crazy, but in Yellowstone you can be walking through a simple meadow and the scenery is beautiful. I got about half a kilometer, maybe a little bit more left to go on this hike, and it's difficult to compare to some of the other incredible hikes I've done, but this has to be right up there with the best of them. Stunning views, good variety, some uphill and downhill, but not too bad. So just an awesome hike. And off I go again on the Cascade Creek Trail, my second hike for today. This one is also a little over 5 miles, 8 kilometers, but unlike the first one, this one is pretty level, so it'll be easier. I had a bit of a break, I rested, I had a bit of a drive from the previous hike to this one. I made some sandwiches. This is about 2.6 miles out to the creek, or not the creek, the lake, and we'll have some lunch there and then head back. It's 10 to 12 now, and that'll be it for today. On the way back outside the park, I want to stop and buy a little bit of food, and that's it. People recommended to me because of the crowds here, to start as early as possible and try and get out of here by 2:30. So that's what I'm trying to do. This is very pleasant, just walking through the trees, etc., keeping an eye out for bears. I've been thinking about this bear spray. It comes with a guarantee. What the hell good is that? If I have to use it and it doesn't work, I'm not going to exactly be in a position to ask for a refund. Oh well, moving on. So I just passed a couple going in the opposite direction, who warned me that soon this trail going through the trees is going to open up, and where it does, there are 2 bison or buffalo. So just to be careful. But I'd rather come across a buffalo than a bison, is the proper name, than bears, but still, I'll be careful. The nice thing about this trail, one of the nice things, is that the parking lot at the trailhead only has enough space for about 7 or 8 cars. And when I got there, there were maybe 3 others. So I'm not expecting to see too many people on this trail. The thing I don't really understand in Yellowstone is pretty much wherever I've gone, you've got a lot of young trees like these ones here, but almost everywhere you've got a lot of fallen, dead trees. Now I don't know whether it's from fire or what, and whether the young trees, I'm assuming that it's natural growth and it's not planted. And there are trees of various sorts, and some of them are huge. Not quite like the sequoias that I saw in Kings Canyon, but pretty big. Anyway, if anybody knows why there's so many trees, dead trees lying around in Yellowstone, please let me know. It's really nice because so far at least I've been walking the path through the trees, but it's not that thick or that you can't see anything. For example, you can always see through the trees this open meadow here and the hills in the distance. Not always as well as this, but I can see it, so you don't get this feeling of trees all around you and it's more and more of the same. Walking through a bit of open area before I head back into the trees. The colors of the shrubs here, weeds, whatever you want to call them, the variety is really impressive. Path I'm going on back into the trees and on this side. Very nice. My first real sighting of wildlife while walking. There are the 2 bison that the couple told me about. They're far enough from the path for it not to be a concern. So carry on, giving them a wider berth as possible, just to be sure, just to be safe. Because there's a little stream that I couldn't get across, I had to get a whole lot closer to them than I wanted to, but they're both lying down, so they seem pretty relaxed. And while I was focused on them, I didn't notice on the other side that the lake, which is my goal, that's the end of my hike out, has just come into view. Not the biggest lake ever, but pretty. And apart from those 2 hikers there in the distance who are just leaving, I'm the only one here. So, have a bit of a rest, lunch, and then head back. Hi, so I am on my way back to the campsite. I stopped still inside the park at this little pool-by next to the river. After the lake on the last hike, I didn't film anything on the way back because I pretty much showed you on the way out what it was. It was a really nice hike. I prefer hikes that go in a loop so that you're not backtracking, but it's not always easy to find the right hike in the right area, but that was a great hike nonetheless. Today was very different to yesterday. Yesterday I saw like the real touristy popular highlights of the park for the most part, and I'm pleased I saw them. but it was really nice today to get away from the crowds. 2 awesome hikes. Well, the first started off the day with the view of the Gibbon Falls, which was really, really impressive. And then 2 very different hikes. That first hike with its stunning vistas and just breathtaking views, and the second hike with a much more sedate, low place, laid back kind of beauty. So really nice. I'm going to stop in town on the way back. I'm about 5-6 kilometers from the entrance to the park, pick up a couple of things and then head out to the campground. So tomorrow's another day.